early childhood education and development. With me, I have a guest. She's called Gertrude. Welcome, Gertrude. So, briefly introduce yourself. Who are you? What do you do? Yeah.
Hello, viewers. Thank you so much for watching the channel. My name is Gertude Katula from Crane's Learning Hub. I'm a passionate educator.
So, Gertrude, I wanted us to begin with what should a parent out there consider when they are trying to put their child to school or looking for a school? Or let me give an example of myself. My child has been doing homeschooling, so I'm trying to say maybe when he's joining P1, I'm going to take him to a school. What should I consider, whether it's the international curriculum or the UNEB curriculum? What should someone really consider?
Okay. Thank you, Lucy. Yeah, I think a parent should first of all look at the reviews of the school. It's very important. Word of mouth is very important to know someone who has been to the school, their experience in the school, and then they should go check out the school. Then when you get to the school, you look at the premises, you look at the classrooms, the environment, is it conducive for learning? And if you can interact with the teachers and also get a feel of the teachers, and you see if they have the curriculum materials that they need to use, I think that would inform you so much. And also you look at the location of the school.
The location.
Yeah,
Sometimes it shouldn't be so far that you have to drive all the way to access the school.
Yes, because the children get so tired. Yes, and that will not help them in learning. So you need to look at that as well. And yeah, the library, like you have to look at the resources. It's important.
You have to reach
Yeah.
the school and see the resources.
Yes, you have to reach the school, look at the library, look at everything that they have, and see if it's worth worth the investment for your child. Before they even go to school, that is, we are talking about a child who's joining in primary P1, or the one who is starting in baby class now, unlocking reading. Are we talking about
when does reading start, by the way? I think it starts as early as, when does reading start? Maybe somebody out there doesn't know.
Now, reading can start maybe at 4 years or late 3, depending. Some children are different. Some children are ready, but maybe we can talk about the foundation you lay for reading to happen. Yes, and that starts as far as early as newborn, like talking to the child, reading to them, talking to them about what they are wearing, what they are eating, and just everything around them. You have to develop the vocabulary, because children reading becomes easier if the children have enough vocabulary built up in them. So all this is helping them to build that language development, which will in turn make reading easier when they start reading.
So as parents, I think they should have more resources at home to help the kids learn how to read.
Yes, and on that note, I think like young children should get used to having storybooks as gifts.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, we
Instead
can.
of toys,
Yes, instead of toys all the time. Yes, we can. Yes, you can buy a toy as well, but storybooks, flashcards, and let them interact with these things and learn that, these pictures, they mean something. There's a word to the picture. So that will help the child when they reach reading. It won't be like this abstract thing, or it is just for passing exams, so they do not want to interact with it. But then they'll develop a strong love for reading. Yes.
Also, as parents, there are some things we need to initiate in our children so that when they reach school, they adopt to the school, either environment or teachers. How should we as parents prepare these children before we even take them to school? Because I believe there's this saying, charity begins at home. How do us parents, what would you advise parents?
So I would advise parents to just, interact with the child, keep the child engaged. It's like some children can, just be fed and given TV to watch. That is not interacting with the children. You must talk to the child when you're eating. Eat with them. Talk about the food they're eating. Talk about what's there. Like you're eating carrots. Oh, carrots are good for your eyes. Yes, so you talk about it. The water, you need water. Do you know people need this much water in a day? while you're doing a good job, you're taking water. So you're helping their brain development. Yes, and also you're helping them with language development. You can even lay a foundation for like early math. You talk about, oh, today I'm going to put 2 tomatoes in the food. You know, like in everything that you do, you just involve the child and don't make them like, you know, foreigners to what is happening around them. They should be aware of what's happening around them, and also helping them to be self-aware, to know things about them.
Things about them like the body?
Yes, like the body. You know
the
that.
body, the
Yeah.
surrounding environment.
Yes, yes. You know that I am a girl, I am a boy. Today I'm wearing a skirt. I like skirts the most. I like dresses. I like trousers. Like you talk to them about everything that they are doing, because everything is a teachable moment in a child. So if you're not helping them, then you're missing all these many teachable moments, and you're thinking it's the teacher to teach this. Yeah, I think that's where it says that charity begins at home, because at home there are so many teachable moments that can happen in a home, but you have to be aware. And that brings me to having like people who take care of children who are a little bit, yes, like our nannies, who are a little bit aware of early childhood development. Yes, because then it will help them to interact with children in more productive ways. Yes, than just, you know, sit there, have food. Have you finished? You know, that is all the conversation they have with the child. And it is so much that the child can learn before they even go to school. And that prepares them to be able to learn. Yes.
So, is this also like play based learning? How can a parent also, I don't know if I'm saying stimulate?
Okay, you talked about stimulation. I think everything we are talking about, engaging the child, is helping to stimulate the brain. Yes. So, when you talk about purposeful play, yeah, you've heard of schools saying they're doing purposeful play, they're playing at school, they're learning through play. And then some schools will say, no, here we are not just playing. When they come to school, they have to learn. Yeah, because to them, interpreting learning is that the child has to sit on a table and then look at the teacher. Yes, and look at the teacher. But you see, that has a lot of issues. Like it limits a lot of development in a child. You're telling them that they shouldn't be as confident. They shouldn't talk about what they're doing. They should just be receiving. Yes, and you're setting that precedence from a very young age. So it will be very hard for this child to develop critically, like critical thinking and problem solving skills, because they are prevented from expressing themselves from a very early age. Can I tell you something? I went to a school. I met a 3-year-old, and when I put up cards to play with them for letters and sounds and matching pictures, she was like, "When are we learning?" She's like, when are we going to start learning?
Because they're used to only
Yeah, and she was like,
writing.
she wants to get her book and, you know, write, because according to their teacher, that is learning. But they're just copying, they're just reproducing things, you know. Yes, because that should be just the evidence of learning. But learning should happen when you're engaging with the child. That is the purposeful play. Yes.
This also takes me back to way back in school. Like there were so many, like we are being punished as young kids. If a teacher says this, they are punishing you. How is punishment in relationship to child development? How best should we discipline or punish children?
First of all, I think you need to look at what are you trying to achieve in a child. Yes. Why punish? Maybe discipline, you know? Yes. So I would, for example, in a classroom, a classroom that I have been in, is you explain to the children what is expected in the classroom, and then you remind them every day, especially in young classrooms, like young children's classrooms. You have something like morning circle, and morning circle is to help them know what's the day today, our class, this is what we do in our class. And then you remind them things about themselves, how we respect each other. This is where we put our pencils when we finish using them. Or remember, when you finish something, you cover your book and put it here. Or when you stand up and you're going for snack, remember we push in our chairs, or we tuck in our chairs. So you're constantly reminding the children, because they're still learning. So the constant reminders are very helpful. So I would wonder why you would want to punish a child. Yes, but also you can talk to them if something is really off. You talk to them and you bring in that emotional awareness as well.
But if you
It
talk to a
helps.
child and they really don't do that, I think that's how we are grown up. Like they beat you for you to really understand well. Does that still is this still applied in today's education or even home setting as parenting? What
Yeah,
do you say
well,
about
maybe
that?
the issue is we don't have time, but usually we can tell where the problem is coming from. Yeah, sometimes children are just looking for attention that they are not getting at home, or they are not getting from someone they expect it from, like maybe the father is never there or very busy, and yeah, and the child will bring work home and wants daddy to see it, and daddy's like, will not see it. I'll see it tomorrow. And you're just looking at it and saying, oh, good job. You actually drew a tree. Yes. And sometimes kids just draw like circles and put legs and like, this is daddy, this is mommy. And by the way, that is very important for the kids. But then a parent will be like, "Ah, those are silly things.
They
I don't
won't
have
even
to look at
consider
them."
it. But they don't know
Yeah.
the effort the child put in. He wants you to credit them.
Yes, to credit
Yeah.
them. So sometimes you have to go to, why is the child behaving like this before you rush to, I need to punish this child, I'm fixing this child. Yeah, but that will take time, and will take some reading, some information, and some people are not willing to invest that much time. So beating is the easiest thing. Like punishing is like the easiest, the quickest thing. Let's go. Mm. But you're not solving a problem in long term. You're just solving it there. Yeah. Because you prevent this problem from happening, this behavior from happening, and they'll
but you're
pick
not
up another
teaching,
one.
you're
Yeah.
not telling them what they should do. Wow, that's something I've also learned in my parenting. I need to give time to teaching these children, to saying this is how you should do it. Wow, I hope this, as a parent out there, I hope you're learning this and also implementing it from home, implementing it and putting it in practice. So, Gertrude, we've talked about discipline, and now I want us to talk about childhood development. What are these things either a parent or a teacher at school should do for better childhood development to learn? And if I'm bringing it up well, yeah, what are those things? At least we can finalize with that. If you're a parent or at school, what are these things you should look at or even consider when you're either having a school or you have a child?
Yeah, I think for a quality learning space for kids or even home, it's important to have an environment that is helping you to teach the child whatever you want them to learn. For example, in a school environment, yeah, I visit several schools, and you walk into an early childhood classroom, and all you see is tables and chairs and a blackboard and maybe charts on the walls. So that is going to be like, that will be a problematic classroom. You're all constantly going to be trying to fix the children's behavior so that they're able to sit still and listen and just be taking what you're saying. And yet these children at that age, they still have a lot of needs, like to be able to learn, be able to interact, to learn to even communicate. If I have a question, how do I ask the teacher? But these things are not developed at all if you do not create an environment that allows them to interact with it, and then in turn they are also learning the basic skills that they need. What do I mean? Like in a classroom, I see, especially in nursery classrooms, I see teachers drawing charts. Some charts are really nice and everything, but then they're just for display. They're not for the children.
I thought kids learn when they see those displays.
Yeah, they learn, but it's just looking. You're targeting one area, and yet those same charts, you can draw a chart, put it on the wall, duplicate the same chart, and cut out flashcards out, and then put them in a basket on a shelf. So the children can actually pick it and bring it on the table. And as they're working together, they're learning how to share. They're learning how to take turns. But it's the same content. You've not gone abroad to buy anything. Yes. And if it's a number chart, you can cut out the cards that you've drawn, and then ask them to find counters, stones outside, sticks,
And you count.
Yes, and then they count. But then they're doing this in turns. They're working together, and they're learning how to ask, because you find many adults, even older children, who do not know how to talk to others. Yes, but these things are developed in an early childhood space. Yes, those are some of the things that the children must learn not just, we are preparing them for P1, we are preparing, yeah,
maybe
we're just,
exams,
yeah,
but not how to
exams.
interact
That's why
everyday
you'll find
life.
some enthusiasts in early childhood. They think early childhood children should not be doing exams. They shouldn't be doing exams because here they are developing a number of skills that should even be assessed daily. You see, all the children are not doing this. I need to do this. So because you're just supporting them to develop them. You're not like, excuse me, give me, what do you have? Like, that's the exam. What do you have? Bring, I want to see. Where have you reached? Yes, it's of course okay to assess, but maybe in a more healthy way. And you're having a whole holistic child. Yeah.
Thank you, Gertrude, about this enlightenment on early childhood education. Gertrude owns Crane's Learning Hub. So if you would like to know more information or how to teach your children or how to empower your children, I'm leaving her her YouTube account, her Instagram account in the description section. And if you would like to ask any question about childhood education, leave it in the comment section. And if this video has inspired you or taught you something, give me a thumbs up, leave for me a comment. Yeah, and thank you for watching. Bye.